ID card online.
Jamie accidentally hacks into the US.gov website on this episode of the Lore Boys.
Cheese Boys here at the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America. I am your host, Peter McDonald, a washed-up talking head who repeats whatever the government tells me, and I am joined by...
it's Jim. Ethan with the weather, also telling you guys whatever the government tells me. We're expecting hurricanes, which means bye.
Yeah, climate change is real or it's fake, depending on the current administration. Whatever, who cares?
Let me just turn this around here. I'm James. I'm the boom mic guy. But it'll take me a little while if you want me to tune in on anything. But I'll pass it back to you guys. Yeah.
There's a second delay with him turning the mic around.
Super quick, a little bit of housekeeping here. Before we get into the episode, I am very happy to announce that we will be doing a short panel on October 24th, 2021 at Meltdown. It's an esports venue here in Montreal, which is hosted by my publisher, Squared Idea. It starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Most of the event will be about the projects that myself and other people at Squared are working on, but Ethan, Jamie, and I were all given carte blanche to just show up as part of the Pete O'Donohue unit, so Lore Boys get a panel, baby, so it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, if you can make it. I think the border for the U.S. is still closed because of COVID. I don't know. But if you can make it to Montreal for the 24th, please do. It's a public event. Show up, say hi. It's a bar. Have a drink if you're not driving or whatever. So there you go.
It's a cool venue. I used to go there and play Counter-Strike, and on tournament nights, if you got a knife kill, they'd give you a free shot and stuff like that. So
that's fucking legit, actually. Holy shit.
Yep.
I had never heard of the place because I'm not a geek, but...
I've been twice, and I'm sure I just played League of Legends because it was my League of Legends days. So, I have a bit of housekeeping too before we get started. Jamie, stop posting Minions memes in the group chat while we're recording, okay? Because it's very distracting. It's very distracting.
In the sound check, we joked about like a Minions meme of being like "hang in there," and then I googled them, and there's not only like multiple memes of the guy like the cat hanging down saying hang in there. There's a clothes hanger with Minions hanging off of it that some mom uses for her blouse.
It's unusable. You've got like an entire like woodcut board of Minions hanging off just one side of a hanger. It'd fuck up anything you tried to use it on.
I feel like it would be unbalanced. Like, I don't know why they don't put them in the middle and like maintain the balance, because I feel like it would probably do fine keeping the garment straight, right? But
well, that's so if you didn't notice, it says hang in there, and that's more set to the right. And the Minions are set to the left. Inside the hang in there, it's made out of pure gold. So it's a very expensive thing.
But
yeah. Naturally.
And it's comedy gold, as all Minions are.
As all Minions are, exactly.
Hang in there.
Especially Kevin, the funny one.
Yeah.
So, thank you for hanging in through our intro there, and hope to see you on October 24th if you could make it. Today's episode is Metal Wolf Chaos, and was requested by a pair of patrons, Darnell and Fragile Shark. So shout out to those guys and thank them for all of their support and ridiculous suggestions.
Those guys are some OGs too. So
yeah. Those guys are pensioners at this point. Like 4% of their Patreon donations go into a separate account that pays out when they're 60. Yeah. And since this was good timing here for Metal Wolf Chaos, because as any of our Canadian listeners know, we had a completely pointless election up here in Canada on the 15th of September that changed literally nothing. So a bunch of stupid government nonsense on our show seemed relevant even last week, but I was too hungover, so we just squirted out the mailbag because I was asleep. So are either one of you guys familiar with Metal Wolf Chaos? Jamie, I will start with you.
No, but since Fragile Shark likes it, it has to be some old game that only his brother played ever on like the N64, PS1.5 or some stupid shit. Yeah.
Ethan?
Is it the one where the president of the United States is in like a mech fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Donkey did the video.
I've seen the
that.
Donkey video on it. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I have seen that.
And I have the voice line of the character from the latest Final Fantasy trailer where he keeps saying, "I'm here to kill chaos." That's like, I know they're not related at all, but I just keep picturing the president of the United States of America saying, "I'm here to kill chaos."
that level of dialogue is totally within the realm of reality in Metal Wolf Chaos. It is a complete nonsense game. Now, the story so Metal Wolf Chaos is available, but the story of getting Metal Wolf Chaos outside of Japan is almost more interesting than its like kind of lore light universe. So this is kind of like a documentary and also Lore Boys episode sort of thing. It's as though Jamie and I have fused into one handsome little man.
Yeah, my ears are freaked up. I'm interested on how this happened for sure.
Is this the Lore Boys episode on how to pirate a Japan exclusive title, or was there actually like a North American release?
Well, we'll get to it. Now, like I have often been an advocate for acquiring things legitimately, in quotes, but our lawyers suggested that I stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So is this a mech suit game?
Yeah, it's a mecha game.
So I'm interested. Like, you love mech suit games. Like, what draws you to those types of games?
Okay, well, for me personally, like MechWarrior was just like a burned CD that like was available at my elementary school because like Stuart's dad.
Where your penchant for legally acquired games in heavy quotes comes from, huh?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I would blame Kyle Brown, who is Stuart's father, for my addiction to legitimate games. He had like a pirated copy or like a burnt CD copy of MechWarrior 3. And I was 7 when that game came out, and like a mech sim was really cool. I love MechWarrior more than I love Japanese mecha personally. I like the Gunplas. I think they're neat looking, and the Gundam art is pretty cool. But like, I'm not familiar with it. Metal Wolf, however, is a completely different fucking animal. Like it's
it's a wolf specifically.
It's just wild. Yeah, exactly.
I see a bunch of like robotics parts behind you. Like, that looks like a giant gauntlet. Will you one day like have your own mech suit?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that. However, this right here behind me, next to the Funko Pop I got from someone who didn't know what I liked, is the original Transmetal Rampage Beast Wars Transformer that I got for Christmas when I was 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
A Funko Pop from someone who didn't know what I liked sounds like so many like Secret Santas that you've ever been to.
It is probably the motto of that company. It's just like, for someone you don't know. It's just on the box.
You're either an insane collector or you give to someone you don't know.
Yeah.
It's like no in between.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's either an insane collector and you get them one that they already have, or they just don't like Funko Pop. Like, I don't think the three of us are into Funko Pop here. No shame.
That's the only one I have. That's the only one that I have, and I got it as a gift. It is a Vault Boy from Fallout 3, so that's at least cool. He's got the little suit on, but otherwise.
I've never been like, hey, I like a video game character, or hey, I like this character. What if I had one with an oversized head that I could put on my desk? You know, I've never been excited about that. Although I do have
I love looked worse.
Yeah, I have the pink Power Ranger at work, which I don't mind. She Kimberly, I think her name is. Someone will tell me if I'm wrong.
We'll do Power Rangers lore someday. That'd be crazy lore as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's got a good combo of real life and like psychotic fiction as well.
Yeah. But
anyway, on the subject of weird bullshit from Japan, Metal Wolf Chaos is a Japanese game. So the fact it was released in December 2004, this is my favorite part about researching this one now in 2021. The fact that the game came out in December 2004 and still, thankfully, takes place barely in our current future of 2021 canonizes pretty much every single thing that has happened in the United States up until this point. So like I was, anyway, so I'll get into it. It was all very exciting and fun to put together. So we need to roll back the clock now, just from 2021 to the early 2000s, where a struggling independent technology company's Xbox, the home gaming console, this is Xbox the first, not the Xbox One, right? It was having trouble getting its tendrils into the Japanese market. Okay. This tech company was called Microsoft, which you might be familiar with. The
Small
founder and CEO, yeah, exactly. It's Little Softs. The founder and CEO of the time hadn't had his multiple dinners with very cool and legitimate dude Jeffrey Epstein at this point, so he just did not have the reputation to get his foot through like the sliding Japanese door. It's because no one knew who he was. Obviously.
He was still working on the coronavirus down in his lab, and
Yeah, exactly. He had the vaccine already, of course, because it takes 10 years to make a vaccine at least. So,
well, in 1996, the coronavirus was on like 10 floppy disks. Now it's just in a tube.
Yeah. They can fit it up to the end of your finger these days.
you wouldn't download a national health crisis. It's a global, yeah.
I love the like generic rock music that plays in the background of that ad with like the staticky white text all over the place.
Very edgy.
Very 2004, just like our
the subject of today's episode. Microsoft approached Japanese developer From Software to make an Xbox exclusive game to appeal to the Japanese market. FromSoft at this time was well known for Armored Core, which is another Japanese mecha game series, and also a game called The Adventures of Cookie and Cream, which was like a little cartoony platformer of some description.
I gotta look up this. The
Adventure of Cookie and Cream, yeah.
That's our Pepsi Minds episode, right?
Did we do Armored Core or some other one?
I'll pull it up too.
Yeah. Both of you, Jamie, pull up the clip so that let Daddy work. You two do some Googling.
Okay.
This looks ridiculous, but
is that Cookie and Cream?
Cookies and Cream. I mean, the reviews are good though, so it must be a FromSoft game.
Yeah.
90% of Google users like it, so.
And we did do Armored Core, but I can't tell if it's the Pepsi Minds one or not. It was something about people get named Woody, and anyways, I think that's it. Yeah.
I could not tell you a single thing about Armored Core. Let me tell you.
Pepsi Minds.
You hosted that episode.
You did.
You did, for sure, Peter.
I'm pretty sure that was...
No, you did. We did it for fucking Extra Life.
Extra Life? Oh, maybe.
Yeah, there we go.
Ethan learns what it's like to be a FromSoft fan. Pete debates whether turn right makes you a robot, and Jamie strikes it rich and kicks off the Pepsi rush of 1896. It was the Pepsi Minds. That was our only fan art was for our Armored Core episode.
Yeah, we got that from Sean. That was great. So back to Metal Wolf Chaos. The game appears to have been written as like an action satire of the USA by Japanese people. If you watch the cutscenes or take a look or even play it or play it somehow or whatever, Metal Wolf Chaos is very, very reminiscent of like Team America World Police.
Yeah.
But without being made by cynical Americans, made by like optimistic Japanese people. So it's got a lot of the same USA #1 kind of power to it. Sort of thing going on.
I mean, I definitely, and it's like satire, Japanese satire of America is such a fine line because so much Japanese media is deliberately over the top, right? Like you think of like shonen mangas and you think of like all these like animes, and just kind of this culture of like go big or go home. So when they satirize America, which is like the country of go big or go home, not in their media, but in their actual culture, it's always like the most ridiculous thing.
And their diet.
I know
everything is go bigger in Texas.
Yeah. Go big or supersize.
That's good.
I would love to see a supersized trio one day at McDonald's because they're not available here, which may come as a strange thing to our American listeners.
They used to be,
but you can't supersize in Canada.
When I was 18 years old and working at McDonald's, you could. They would just give you a large fry and a large,
it's just large
Coke instead of a medium fry and a medium.
That's
Coke.
it.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
I've seen when I was in a quick aside when I was in Missouri for work. I remember one lady came back from like Subway or like Quiznos or something, one of those like long sandwich restaurants. Mm-hmm. And she had like a styrofoam drum of like Dr. Pepper or something. Like it's the biggest drink cup I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like it was probably a 2 liter with a straw in it.
It's like Fred Flintstone when they bring the rib over and his whole car.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I will say I was driving to Florida one time, and I think I stopped in North Carolina, maybe somewhere more north. Maybe it was in New York State. And we stopped at a Wendy's, and we were at McDonald's, and I just got a trio, or a combo, as you'd say in the States, I guess. I got the combo, and it was a medium drink, and it was bigger than the larges here. Considerably bigger than the large. They just gave it to me. I was like, I didn't supersize. They're like, no, that's the medium. And I did not ask to see the large. I was intimidated.
Yeah. It would have like the two wheels on the back, like a recycling bin, so they could haul it out to you.
You gotta tilt it back. It's just sloshing.
Yeah. They like wring out a mop of all the Pepsi into the bucket and like push that over.
It's just kick it. Yeah, just like slide it along the floor.
It's like on a hand truck. So sales of Metal Wolf Chaos were not particularly good, but that wasn't really the point, since at the time, and even the lifetime sales of the Xbox, the first in Japan, are like worse than the downloads that this show has. They were shooting this Japanese exclusive game at a very small install base, like less than 400,000 consoles. And probably even lower than that in 2004. Plans to bring the game to the West fell through. The game's producer blames this on the fact that 100% of the enemies in the game are American troops and their vehicles. Slaughtering American servicemen was unpopular at the time because the U.S. had invaded Iraq a year and 9 months prior to the game's release.
Wow, pretty topical. Pretty topical.
Yeah, I mean it's topical. It's topical now because the U.S. just pulled out of Afghanistan. I think people are still in Iraq. I don't remember, but at the time, remember both those wars were just like rah rah, everything's very cool sort of shit.
Yeah, like all wars, right?
Yeah, like we all know who the villain was, right? You could name the bad guy in both those wars.
I can. I don't want to say it on air, but I can. Y'all know what you did. Y'all know what you did.
But yeah, so the plans to bring the game to the U.S. was very, very likely canceled due to the fact that the enemies were American soldiers in the game, and American soldiers at the time were like God's heroes, basically. So they were like, maybe we won't. Maybe we won't port the whole thing. Exactly. Yeah. At time of writing the game. The rise of the internet started a few years after 2004, and whisperings of an absolutely batshit insane mecha game where you play as the president of the United States
fighting U.S. troops and vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. This spread around and gained it. Obviously, this is an insane idea, and the game gained a cult following. Even the game's producer at From Software had heard about the game's cult status, but like a lot of Japanese companies or like Japanese businessmen, just didn't understand why people would want to play an old Xbox game. Like this is something that comes up a lot with like Nintendo or even fucking Sony in backwards compatibility right now, where Japanese companies either pretend or like legitimately do not understand why anyone would want to play an old thing.
Yeah.
And this was the same back in 2004, and he just was just like, why would anybody want to play a game that we made in 2004? It's 2005. Jesus Christ. Come on, guys.
I'm still here thinking that Hollow Knight should win Game of the Year every single year that they do any kind of Game of the Year show. I'm
as long as Hollow Knight is available, it should be Game of the Year.
Exactly.
Anyway, so he had heard about this. And the reason is, for the cult following, the reason is because the game is entirely voice acted in English for some reason, despite never being intended for an English-speaking market. Okay, that will make sense later on. The president's catchphrase in game is just a drawn out and somehow monotone "Let's party." That will go down in history on like, you know, you got Make America Great Again. You got Hope, which I think was Obama's thing. mission accomplished for Bush, whatever the fuck, the Clinton saxophone solo or whatever. Like the red cap of the president in this game would be "Let's party" with like 15 Ys.
I have at least 15 Ys about this video game right now.
I gotta say, I absolutely love, and this is like Lore Boys canon, the idea of From Software just thumbing their noses at like Bill Gates and his dump truck full of money, just being like, "Oh yeah, you want us to make a game for Japanese audiences? Sure, dude, we got you, no problem." And then just lampooning the shit out of the United States, just being like, "Yeah, we're gonna tell you exactly what the fuck we think of you."
Yeah. That's probably not untrue. There is a what is it called? Behind the Schemes, I think. Which is Devolver Digital made a little like a 20-minute documentary about Metal Wolf Chaos, and it's available on YouTube for free. So check out Behind the Schemes, where it like a lot of this is just like what stereotypes bled into Japan about the USA, and then of course when Bill Gates and his dump truck full of money drove up, this is exactly what he paid for, like without knowing it.
Wasn't Devolver Digital like the people who made that like promo video about like the new game they're working on, and they're jokingly poking fun at all the microtransactions in other games right
yes.
now? Okay,
yeah, Devolver Digital's E3. We were talking about this off air, but Devolver Digital's E3 presentation is a like very long running mini series.
Okay.
Not unlike our Christmas special, with it has like characters that return all the time,
right.
And it changes like, and it's an annual thing, and every year it advances. Their CEO in quotes, or the woman who plays her rather, is like RoboCop at this point because she was murdered on stage in one of their E3 conferences, and then they brought her back to life.
They make good games too. Like Gungeon is the most recent one I've been playing, and I like that.
Devolver fucking rules. I think my personal favorite publisher right now is 505 for like stuff like The Surge or Control, but Devolver is definitely a close second for just like a corporation that I can, as close I can get to respect as that is, right? As you can respect one of those things.
I like Zynga for publishing Farmville. That's probably my favorite publisher at the moment. Zynga? I don't know.
I think it's Zynga.
Eric Barone's pretty tight with the Stardew Valley. Team Cherry with Hollow Knight. I don't know if they scaled up for Silksong or what. Hopefully they're still true to their roots.
I hope that game's still coming up before we die of old age.
That's it. Yeah, they just scaled out rather than scaling up. They're just like, we're not going to release it for 15 years. No problem. Whatever. I'm happy that they take their time because I'm still playing Hollow Knight. So
yeah, I'll take a good game 5 years from now than a shitty game tomorrow. Sort of thing, exactly. Right? Like,
yeah. Although I'd like the Elder Scrolls to come out, please.
I'm playing Diablo 2 re-release, and I cannot support anything that company did, but that 2002 game is just so good, or whatever.
You've got like Jamie's moral compass, and it's just like fucking nostalgia is just like way off the chart.
Yeah, I get too many monthly payments of that company right now.
So yeah, the president's catchphrase is "Let's party," and every single time he does something in game, he rationalizes it to his secretary Jody by saying, "And the reason is because I'm the president of this great United States of America," which is why I wrote that previous sentence that way. Is the translation of this game? The reason it was in English is fucking crazy. It's insane. It should not have been in English in the first place.
It's so FromSoft, though. That is so FromSoft to do. To just be like, yeah, dialogue doesn't fucking matter. Do it in a language that none of us really fucking speak.
Clearly, yeah. There isn't, as far as I've seen, there is not a Japanese voice track. The game is in English in Japan with Japanese subtitles.
So Japanese subtitles. You love to see it, man. Yeah, honestly, I love to see it.
Yeah. So the game did eventually come to the West in August 2019, so there is no reason to acquire a legitimate, in quotes, copy. Don't worry about it. You can buy it off GOG, on Steam, on Xbox, on PlayStation. The process of getting this game to the West actually started here in Montreal.
Cool.
Yeah. Matthew Kowalski and Patrick Boivin got their hands on a copy by like having it shipped to them in a Wayfair ottoman or some shit. But they did a Let's Play of it basically. So Matt stated,
wait, his English name is Patrick Drinks Wine?
Boivin, yes.
Okay, just make it. That's a cool last name.
During their Let's Play, Matt stated that he got the copy through a, quote, various string of circumstances that he wouldn't get into right now. However, the copy of the original Xbox game seems to have cost the pair of guys over 200 Canadian dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not nothing.
Reminds me of PT. Like, if you have that old game, then you can get good money for it.
At the time of their Let's Play, Matt and Pat hosted Two Best Friends Play on Machinima. So if that's not a blast from the fucking past, I don't know what is. That's old YouTube. Yeah. The game publisher that we were just talking about, the game publisher Devolver Digital, famous for Hotline Miami, which was their breakout kind of game, and then Enter the Gungeon, saw the Let's Play, and then just like sarcastically tweeted at FromSoft, like, yo, if we could get Metal Wolf Chaos localized, how much, bro? Basically. And then 3 years later, in 2019, bing bang boom, Metal Wolf Chaos XD drops and is now available on all current systems.
That's awesome. It's $28.99 Canadian dollars. Two friends want this game, Darnell and Mecha Paladin.
You motherfuckers. It would be you. So, now that we've gotten through the kind of like the documenting the history here, now that we've got through the Jamie portion of the episode, now we need to ask, why is the world of Metal Wolf in so much chaos?
This feels like one of those questions, like, why even ask? Like, it's going to be so fucking crazy. There's going to be no baseline to tie it down to.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to have something to do with the Russians, right? Like, it's got to have something to do with commies, like the KGB infiltrating the American drinking water and spiking it with commie juices. And now the president realizes that the American people suddenly want to vote socialist or something.
I just want a t-shirt that says commie juices on it. All right, new merch drop when, Lore Boys. So anyway, I'm going to put the disclaimer on screen here right now. A lot of this is going to be Lore Boys canon, but since they didn't put it in the game, frankly, I think we can just overtake that, just call this actual canon.
It's our constitutional right, per the United States president when he said, let's party.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to party. We're going to party with this storyline, Mr. President.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. So, the game's protagonist is the 47th president of the United States of America, Michael Wilson. And he is canonically the descendant of Brian Wilson from the Bare Naked Ladies song.
I was...
Okay.
That's a very Canadian reference. You guys can go look up that song.
Well, I mean, they got big enough. They got international enough for the Big Bang Theory. So
yeah,
I mean,
come on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like Universal, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's almost as big as Minions. Okay, so
I was gonna say on the subject of absolute cancer, Big Bang Theory and Minion memes are like on par. Terminal cancer. You've got pancreatic, Minion, Big Bang, and then skin.
Get a shirt that says Bazinga, it's Monday or something like that.
So actually, to correct this, the real lore here is that Michael Wilson is a descendant of Woodrow Wilson, who is a very creepy looking man, but was also the 28th president of the United States, and he led the U.S. through World War I. Or the last 18 months of it, because the U.S. only joined in 1917.
True. I realized I only knew Woodrow Wilson from The Simpsons when Bart is making a fake romance for Edna Krabappel, and he's writing her letters, and he chooses the name Woodrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the extent of my knowledge of the 28th president of the United States.
I wrote in a lot of my ignorance about the U.S. into this episode here, so don't worry. The vast majority of our fans will be shocked as to how little that I actually knew about their country's history. So at the time of recording, Joe Biden is the 46th president of the United States.
Oh, shit,
meaning
it can still happen.
We can still get a Michael Wilson. We can still get into Michael Wilson. However, due to the way the U.S. presidency works, the one thing we have to modify is that Obama could not have had 2 terms. He would have had to have had a single term.
Why Obama?
Okay. Because I will explain. Okay. I will get into it.
It's very specifically.
The only thing that we need to modify as far as U.S. history goes up until this point is that Obama can't have 2 terms.
Okay, so George W. Bush is canonical in Metal Wolf Chaos.
So, President Wilson, at one point in-game, states that he would smash something or other faster than a Florida recount. Absolutely embedding the 2000 election of George W. Bush into the game's lore.
Bush v. Gore. Yeah,
absolutely. Exactly. Yeah. And his 8 years, like, Bush is probably one of the most consequential presidents in recent history, frankly, because his 8 years gave us a lot of what we currently deal with, and a lot of what the game was satirizing, being made in 2004, and like releasing late 2004, was still leading into his second term. So 8 years of Bush, totally fine by this game's story standard, okay?
Okay, gotcha.
Obama's election in 2008 still works for the game's plot as well. The opening cutscene, or one of the few opening cutscenes, talks about economic issues caused by constant conflicts in the Middle East, which is something that he, of course, inherited and did not change. Yep. So the kind of that whole arc still works. However, because he was 44, we still need to squeeze in two more presidents. Okay. And since Trump only had 1 term, that means he cannot be reelected in 2012, just to make sure that we get the count right. So, OG birther and the rarest Pepe on Earth, Donald Trump needs to get elected and then inaugurated in 2013. Okay. The game's intro also talks about growing civil unrest starting in 2010 and a rise in domestic terrorism, and having Trump in office for something like that he would, maybe observe and do literally nothing about and maybe just antagonize. Imagine that. I could. Totally makes sense as well. So putting him in office at this point still works. And since he is, at time of writing, a single-term president, getting Joe Biden elected after that still works, as Joe Biden is 46. And remember, we need to get to 47. And I will explain why this timeline, why the Lore Boys canon of Metal Wolf Chaos is so specific. Is because I'm working with like bits and pieces of real world history and shit in this game. Okay. One of the other funny things I found in watching the cutscenes for this game, so I will admit I did not play it. Didn't buy it. I've watched playthroughs and then watched the cutscenes again while putting the script together. There is like a fake news channel called DNN, hosted by a guy named Peter McDonald in the game.
Hence the intro.
Yeah, exactly. And he starts one...
I thought you were doing like an awful take on Norm, who just passed away.
No. God bless.
What was that?
That would be odd.
Yeah, that'd be very strange. But yeah. No. The in-game, the fake news reporter, just the talking head, is a guy named Peter McDonald for DNN, which they couldn't have known this in 2004. Is this like melted together like wax statue of like Newsmax and CNN? It is just like the weirdest fucking thing, because of course it's just like it's like the radio broadcasts out into space, basically, that aliens don't understand. Like the Japanese saw the US media in 2003 and we're just like, well, no, this is not real. This is all completely, they're clearly lying, sort of shit. So,
I mean, could you imagine if you grew up in a completely different culture to like we're Canada, so we're America Light, we're the Coors Light to your Coors Banquet or whatever. Could you imagine like having never experienced American culture and like seeing the American news cycle, like watching their 24-hour, like flipping between MSNBC, Fox, CNN, like all these channels?
I love how you chose like Coors as the both of us, because we're both kind of just watered down Europe at this point.
Exactly. Also, Coors was originally American, but is owned by Molson now, I think.
Oh, we got him.
Yeah. Or
do we have the Rockies?
Might still be Anheuser-Busch, but
yeah, it's all the Rockies.
All of them?
BC and Alberta.
Okay.
No.
The United States took like half our lakes, you know? They might take half the Rockies too. You never
They
know.
took the shittiest part of our Niagara Falls too. You can have it, idiot.
Yeah, they got the dumb part of the falls, but they do have all of Lake Michigan. That's just theirs. Let's be real,
bastards. Anyway, yes.
Who has Superior? Do we have Superior?
it's all they're all on the border. The border runs through all the other lakes except for Michigan. Michigan's entirely on the U.S. side.
If you swim far enough, is like a United States Coast Guard going to tell you to go back?
Yeah, they have Coast Guard.
Oh,
in
yeah.
those lakes. Yeah.
Is there an international section of Lake Superior?
Whoa.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it must go 12 miles out, right? Like there must be 12 miles. Yeah. There must be a 12-mile point at some point.
Let's go to international
they call
waters.
Gitsugumi. Yeah. Oh no, those guys dealing cocaine in the exact center of Lake Superior. We can't touch them.
Yeah. They just drive out to international waters, then drive back the exact same way.
You basically like one guy with a kayak paddle to just like adjust where you're drifting to make sure you stay in the middle, right? Like it's gotta be such like a small. It's gotta be such a small little spot.
A kayak with like a little anchor, so he stays in place.
Imagine trying to kayak out with like a regular sized anchor just in your lap.
on Lake Superior, which has big waves, let me tell you. I went sailing on Lake Ontario the other week, and there was big waves. Lake Superior is just a bigger lake.
The Lake Superior doesn't fuck around, yeah. Anyway, just quickly here to go back to DNN. They have like broadcasts in game where they do just like broadcast the government message, which is not unlike, you know, a lot of the news media that you can pick up right now. Mm-hmm. The quote from one of the cutscenes is, "This is an announcement from the Government Policy Promotion Department, where the password is overflowing love and daily benevolence."
Okay.
Yeah, I have no fucking idea what that was supposed to mean.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds very like Orwellian, like the like Big Brother's here for you, like we're the government's on your side, you know? Like
yeah. But it's just funny to see like the impression of the US news media from Japan 18 years ago was just like, nah. These people are all actors. This is all fucking fake. Anyway, so as far as the election cycle goes, Trump can keep his single term in the timeline because if we squeeze in Scranton Joe right before anybody finds out that he's been dead since the 70s, we can still get Michael Wilson elected in 2020. So, why is my parade of presidents so important, and why did I have to take away a term from Obama?
Yeah, why?
Because in game, after you beat the final boss of America, which is the vice president, Michael Wilson says, about 240 years ago, our forefathers gave their blood, sweat, and tears. And in the end, they won our freedom. So, obviously, he is talking about the American Revolution, which, here's what I was talking about earlier. I absolutely thought ended in 1776. I thought the Declaration of Independence was like the receipt for the war that they got.
No, that kicked it off, no? Wasn't that like the start of it? They were like, hey, we're declaring independence. Come try and take it from us.
How many Ford scores? 260.
Yeah. How much is a four score?
Good question. I feel like
four scores 80. Score is 20. 80, yeah. It's 80. It's literally the French for 80.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great if it went 79, four score 1, four score 2?
The American Revolution started March 22nd, 1765. So just before the Declaration of Independence.
It actually ended in 1783.
Oh,
is what I found.
Google says 1791.
What?
That's when I type when did the Civil War start, Google says 1765 to 1791. Sorry,
because I was on Wikipedia yesterday and I found 1783 and 240 years ish, because he of course says about 240 years. About 240 years after the end of the Civil War in 1783, we would come to 2023, where Michael Wilson is serving as the 47th president of the United States and probably still campaigning for re-election.
If we want to get that year right, I think I have a DVD copy of National Treasure somewhere with Nick Cage.
They got to say it in there somewhere, right?
It's got to be in the Resolute desk, yeah.
Well, that was actually released in 2004 alongside Metal Wolf, whatever we're talking about.
Metal Wolf, whatever.
Metal Cage Chaos. I'm sure we have a bunch of listeners right now who are just like sweating bullets, thinking just like us like stumbling over when the fucking revolution ended.
It's 1783. Although, okay, so history.com, let me tell you, the History Network's website, just as bad as the History Network channel. But they say 1783.
Build the pyramids.
Yeah, they say 1783. The wiki page is a mess, though. The American Revolution was an ideological and political revolution that occurred in colonial North America between 1765 and 1791. That's
the page that I was. It is a fucking mess, and I had no idea what I was looking at. But I ended
on
up
the side
choosing 1783.
So history says history.com says 1783. The first sentence on the Wikipedia says 1791. The sidebar on that same Wikipedia page says 1784. It's all over the place.
I just went to USA.gov and I just typed in when to the search bar. And I didn't get what we needed. So,
but what'd you get? Did you get anything good?
It's 2 days ago. USA Gov tweeted something about people with cancer experience relief when treatment ends. That could be hard to be transitioned. What? Yeah, I don't know, man. This website says ID card online.
Jamie accidentally hacks into the US.gov website on this episode of the Lore Boys.
Yeah, if you just type when into the search bar, it takes you right in. They didn't expect anyone to do that. Yeah.
So, this is like the most condensed Lore Boys canon that we've had in a long time. But I hope that people will one day look back on it and realize that we were right. I guess, assuming that we think Lore Boys canon, the Revolutionary War ended in 1783, and this is why Michael Wilson is president in 2023 right now. Okay?
Okay.
We made it.
Now, what do all these elections bring us, right? At some point during the previous or the current administrations, the U.S. developed what is called a heavy mobile armor unit, which is a single pilot robotic armored suit. That is, of course, the mech suit that we've been talking about that the president uses for combat. They're not huge. It's about as tall as like a telephone pole. It's big, but not like ridiculous. It's not like a Gundam or like a mech from BattleTech or anything like that. Okay. One of them was given to the president, and the reason is because he is the president of this great United States of America.
Let's party.
Let's party. This one is codenamed Metal Wolf, or at least dubbed Metal Wolf by the no-good fake news media.
Okay.
And then another was given to the VP, who's in this game. So this is the Wilson Hawk administration. So the vice president is Richard Hawk. Dick Hawk. I'd speculate that Hawk's name is also no coincidence, just from like cultural osmosis, because the term hawk is often used to describe a politician who loves to go to war.
A war hawk.
Oh. A war hawk or a hawkish politician is someone who just like loves declaring war on people, basically.
Yeah.
The Metal Wolf suit has these two big like shoulder pods on either side that holds a rotating rack of guns. I think you can hold 16 guns in the game. It's like 8 on either side, and everything is dual wield. The reason that they gave the president's mech suit a rotating rack of guns is because they had the impression that Americans had a lot of guns, and since the president was the biggest American, he would have the most guns.
I mean, yes. Fair play.
That is a quote from the interview that the producer did with Devolver Digital, and I know I know that like we have some gun lovers in chat, so bless up, boys. This is the president you've been fucking waiting for.
Yeah. Michael Wilson.
Yeah, Michael Wilson, exactly. He also, because it's a FromSoft game, he does get the FromSoft celebrity. You can unlock the Moonlight Greatsword, which is a like wide teal longsword. And while researching this, I realized that like I think we should do I mean, I would love to do it. Just an episode about the Moonlight Greatsword, because FromSoft has put the Moonlight Greatsword in easily 10 or more of their games, and there's always a different reason for it, like being there and like a different way to unlock it. But President Wilson can get the Moonlight Greatsword. The description of the weapon in Metal Wolf Chaos states that it is an omnipotent weapon that draws on the finest in presidential weapons tech and a rare lunar material called Claire, which is just a reference to the song.
Claire de Lune, yeah.
Exactly.
Debussy. A great song.
The waves it fires are more powerful than any other weapon in existence. The last thing targets see before disintegrating is a flash of blinding light.
Cool.
Okay. Kind of a nod to the atomic bomb, I guess.
I suppose so. It's hard. I don't know what an omnipotent weapon means, because that would mean it is sentient in some capacity, right?
No, that'd be omniscient. Or, yeah, so omnipotent would just mean all-powerful.
Okay.
So it's just, I think it's a nod to the atomic bomb. Just like all-destroying, flash of blinding light, which, again, the legacy of Japan and America kind of squares, right? That the president would have that power.
The sword in game in Metal Wolf Chaos has like a stock and like a foregrip on it, because obviously it needs to be held like a gun, so you can't hold it like a sword.
That is amazing.
The foregrip's on the blade too, so it's like horizontal.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a gun that just shoots sharks at people too.
Like what?
Yeah, I posted it into the boys. Like, I just found a picture on the Steam thing. And
Oh, is that from like the new one, DX or whatever?
Yeah, XD.
Oh yeah, that looks legit.
Yeah,
All right.
you can play in 4K apparently now. So
Oh hell yeah, dude.
Do I need a 4K monitor?
Yes.
No.
You don't need one.
That's just like a rehashing of the classic, like, but doctor, will I still be able to play the piano joke?
Can I still play Claire de Lune?
Other large mecha were also built at some point during the current or previous administration. So I don't know if Biden or Trump or Obama were responsible for the orbital battle station, gigantic spider mecha, or the like what looks like a airship, like an aircraft carrier with 4 propellers. But there's some of the bosses in game are all U.S. military tech, including the spider robot.
Cool.
At some point, they convert the prison on Alcatraz Island in San Francisco into just be like a nonsensically gigantic laser cannon as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So feel free, boys, right now to speculate on what current or recent events would have led to these kind of machines. Whatever you think we could use the spider robot for right now.
It's those damn commie bastards and their juice.
I mean, okay.
Commie juice.
a spider robot would be good at navigating mountains, right? So, obviously, the U.S. being embroiled in the Middle East, very mountainous territory, probably useful for that.
Joe
Giant
Biden deploys spider mecha at the Texas border.
Yeah, exactly. Spider mecha with auto whip attachment. Yeah.
It's also on horseback for some reason.
What if the drones woke up? So they needed, those are like little flies, so they needed mech spiders to get rid of the drones.
Yes,
and then eventually mech snakes to get rid of the spiders, and then eventually.
Yeah. And then they put the orbital cannon up there the whole time, just like, well, no, it's the apex predator of nature is the orbital gun.
It's the orbital bombardment.
So, President Wilson's apparent inability to solve the economic issues, domestic terror incidents, and Middle Eastern wars led Vice President Richard Hawke to recruit a vast amount of U.S. Army servicemen to lead a coup d'etat against the president. President Wilson had to flee after fighting his way through his own troops to Air Force One, which is the presidential 747, which now, thankfully, takes off from a underground runway located below the reflecting pool of the National Mall. So the big, shiny lake that opens up, that's in front of the Lincoln Memorial in the National Mall, now can open up and the jet takes off from there.
That's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
it's
very American.
Where's all
very
the
cool.
water go?
It just pours into the airport, obviously.
Obviously.
They fill that up with gasoline now for quick refueling. They're just on the way out.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like we got clear skies for our flight to... Oh, hold on a second. It's starting to rain. Oh, never mind. That's just a reflecting pool.
Not to worry, everybody. That's just gasoline in front of the Lincoln Memorial.
Do you think the pilot talks to like just the president like that, like the ladies and gentlemen?
So
does like the
ladies and
seatbelt
gentlemen.
thing?
Yeah.
Mr. President, we're looking at a pretty comfortable flight from Washington, D.C. to Georgia, and we'll be landing in at the Atlanta airport. If you could just buckle up here, Mr.
This is too accurate,
Yeah.
dude. You're giving me like the heebie-jeebies of being stuck next to this giant dude in a fucking tin can, you know?
Let's party, and Secret Service, please kill that pilot, okay? He does this joke every time we take off.
Do you think they bill the taxpayer for 2 seats on Air Force One if the president is overweight?
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's totally normal. You can watch Return of the King on the back of the seat in front of you, but you're just the president of the United States.
That seems like some bureaucracy thing. Like, if the president to fit into one seat, they act like they had to order a second plane, even though you can't put a president in 2 planes. Or something.
instead of $120,000 an hour or whatever it costs to run Air Force One, it's just $240,000 an hour just because he's a badass. Like,
Yep.
What do you guys think?
the fattest president in American history. Who do you think the fattest president in American history?
Fattest?
I mean, DJ or DT would be up there, wouldn't he?
He's the
Donald
fattest
Trump is
I can think of.
Donald Trump's a big motherfucker though. Like he's like 6'4".
Yeah.
So he is overweight, but like the fact that he's over 200 pounds isn't even unreasonable.
I'm thinking in office too.
William Howard Taft was the most obese president. He was 5 feet 11, and his weight was between 325 and 350.
As a big
Jesus.
one. As a big one.
Not even close. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have. Well, where's Trump on that scale in that case? Does he even get bronze medal?
All right.
I would think Teddy. I would think
If
Teddy
he
would be
finds
bigger
out,
than Trump.
he's gonna be pissed.
Right? Oh yeah, Taft is a big boy.
Fattest presidents ranked BuzzFeed, Tumblr.com.
USA.gov.
Yeah. .us.gov.
When fat president, USA.gov.
Yeah. Donald Trump is only 3rd place at 239 pounds, and William Taft comes in at 340 on this meter.
Oh.
Damn.
Who's the
Again,
number-
that's
number
overall
2?
weight. That's not counting height. That's not counting BMI, right?
Yeah, it's true. Grover Cleveland was number 2. He was the 22nd and the 24th president.
Okay. Wait a second. If you do 2 divided, if you separate your terms, they don't just count you as the same. I don't know.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm foreign.
Not according to POTUS.com, which means President of the United States.com. So they must.
Yeah.
fatpotus.com.gov. It says.
Whoa! James Madison was only 100 pounds.
What does he look like?
What?
He was the
teeny
4th
tiny.
president. He was
Okay.
Well, what does he look like, Jamie? Find a
President,
picture.
Yeah. If he's the 4th president, he's probably like 5'2".
Yeah,
and
at most, yeah.
hasn't eaten a fruit in 8 years. Like
Yeah.
it's like the 1700s.
Yeah, he looks sick from his paintings. I can only imagine what he looked like in real life.
Oh, yeah. They got to sex him up for the portrait, and they're like, "We're sorry, Mr. Madison. This is the best we could do. People will know that you were 100 pounds in the future."
Like, what were they even using to weigh back then? Like, would they put you in a tub of water and just like take the extra water that spilled out and like, depending on how much that?
Like James Madison gets in the tub and doesn't displace any water, and they're just like, "Oh, this is bad."
Yeah, the water line goes down. It's like, wait a minute.
Like a sponge. You like Oh my god.
So you know what? If you want to be the fattest United States president, start running for office, and you got to get to 341. So.
Yeah,
good
the
luck
hard
with
the hard part's going to be gaining the weight, not becoming president of the United States of America.
You gotta be born there, and that's pretty much it, as far as I understand it.
Yeah.
The top of the meter, though, like 100 pounds difference between first and third place. So you really got to eat if you want to get to the top.
Yeah, or just be. I mean, like Trump's overweight, but not like fat. Because, like I said, he's a big guy. Have you seen his son? His son is like 6'6". It's creepy. Barron, the young one, not the other two.
Bill
or
Clinton,
however many secret children that he's got.
Bill Clinton was number 5, 223. There's been a lot of thin presidents. Holy cow! I guess we're just getting fatter as a nation. I'm sorry.
So the idea that the vice president could secretly recruit a huge amount of the army to lead a coup d'état, like against the president, seems stupid from this perspective. However, just by some miracle, this can't be like Japanese mecha sci-fi from 2004, is like concerningly similar to The Storm, which was part of QAnon, which was when Donald Trump was supposed to interrupt the inauguration of Joe Biden with the military to arrest Joe for being like a devil-worshipping sex pest.
Fair.
So, like, and Joe Biden's middle name, I looked up, it's Robinette. Have you ever heard that one before?
Robinette.
Robin,
because he's robbing it. Robbing what? Robbing the U.S. democracy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of our freedoms and liberties.
Yeah.
of our right to storm the Capitol. Okay.
Yeah. So like this is one of the funniest fucking things that I saw in the like while I was looking this up and watching the cutscenes is that like, do you think there are like Midwestern wine moms who are like, oh, well, I don't know about this QAnon fella, but this is concerningly similar to the Japanese mecha game Metal Wolf Chaos, don't you know? Yeah. And she's like cutting celery or something like that because the idea of this is just like, I mean, QAnon is fucking stupid, obviously, but it's like this is just the plot of Metal Wolf Chaos. Is it something like it's just like, yeah, like somehow you could secretly recruit the military to overthrow the government from within, sort of thing.
A minion meme with just "Let's party" underneath it.
Yeah, the president was too busy "Let's partying" to notice that his military was being stolen.
And like I've mentioned this before, like the reason I know so much about like Q and all that conspiracy shit is because I spent a lot of time with my buddy who like went like way the fuck off the deep end sort of shit. Like when you remember when we used to tell people to buy gold?
Yeah.
Like that's the reason. Like he was like, buy gold because bread is going to be $8,000 next week, sort of shit, because of inflation or whatever, like the Zimbabwe stuff.
Did that happen?
And then
I missed
what?
It. Did that happen? I missed it.
I mean, bread is currently $3.
Okay.
If it was $8,000 at some point in the last 2 weeks, he may have been right.
No, I think it's going up because Wall Street bets, they're all putting all their money on bread right now.
On bread.
So it's going up really high, and people are trying to short bread.
These loaves...
Hey, short bread!
Yeah, these loaves are rising, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got to take yeast out of the stocks because it's rising too fast.
Yeah.
Take yeast out of the housing market. Anyway, so like I just thought it was funny that like real world morons are more out of touch than foreign people writing a satirical mech game 18 years ago.
Yeah.
So, following the coup, President Wilson uses lethal force to liberate multiple landmarks around the country from Hawk's forces, such as the Grand Canyon, San Francisco, and then Ellis Island. And just to close out the episode, I would like to go through his dossier, or a few of his dossier of code names for the missions, and I would like you to try and guess where they take place.
Okay.
Cool.
I like it.
And this will go, I guess we'll go, just because this is the order you guys are in screen.
I'm always the host for these. I get to play today. This is yeah.
So for our trivia, first guess Ethan, second guess Jamie, just because that is the order you guys are in my screen.
Okay.
Sure. So, where do you guys think Metropolitan Recapture Operation from Cisco Cynet Road takes place?
Cisco Cynet Road? I guess... I mean, you said San Fran. Is that like too easy then? If I go San Fran, it's not super metropolitan either. I'll say New York because that's a big metropolis, right?
Jamie?
I'll say the subway underneath Russia.
Okay. Oh, Metro 2, Metro 2, the one that we don't talk about except in our fucking Metro 2033.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Metro Wolf Chaos.
Yeah. So I will give.
It's about a very neat Chaos Wolf, essentially.
Yeah.
I'll give Ethan half points on that one because don't think too hard.
Okay.
It was San Francisco.
Because you said Cisco, Skynet, whatever, and I was like, yeah, that's tech bubble, right? Is out
It's
on the West Coast.
SciNet. It's SAI. I don't know what that means.
Oh, SAI. Psi is like one of the Ninja Turtles has size. It's like the 3-pronged fork daggers.
The knife, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, right.
Those are called size. I don't know. I don't know what relevance that has to San Francisco, but
and whenever he powers up, he supersizes, right?
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You got like a straw in the hilt.
It's my 120-gallon size.
So, Operation Arizona, blood and gunpowder smoke.
Grand Canyon.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut Jamie off.
Grand Canyon.
Jamie's like, yes, I get to play.
All right, I'll try to remember my own rules here. MASH, the island prison.
Well, I'll let Jamie go because you already said this one, and now we're just going through the 3 things you just listed for us. So,
Alcatraz.
Ellis Island.
Yeah. My darling Clementine operation.
Florida.
Yeah, I was going to say Florida on that one too.
Phoenix, Arizona, for some fucking reason.
What?
Okay. Well, I mean, they could probably grow oranges there.
I think they need more water. Doesn't it like not rain in Arizona?
Yeah, there's these things called
Where Death
hoses,
Valley is?
though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right,
They're
next.
good at getting water places now too. I feel like.
Yeah. Put it in a big jug, carry it on your head.
Yeah, put in your supersized.
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah,
your
your
big
supersized
styrofoam cup.
recycling bin from McDonald's, and
My lawn needs Mountain Dew. I gotta go to Taco Bell.
yeah.
The morning dew on the grass is something completely different.
Yeah, you've got Baja Blast, then you've got Morning Dew, and you just grow it at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the next one would be bring fashion back to the streets.
Okay. Well, this one I'll say New York.
Bring fashion back to the streets. I have no idea. Austin, Texas.
Beverly Hills.
Okay. Yeah. Not really streets. Like, I mean, there's literal streets, but you wouldn't call it like grew up in the streets if
No,
you're from Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Beverly Hills.
You know, as I say,
this-
Beverly Hills. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
This one's a giveaway. Operation, in quotes, we love NYC.
Alabama. No, wait, Kentucky for the fried chicken. You said
New
KFC,
Jersey.
right? Joey's.
Do we get it?
Kentucky chicken.
Kentucky fried chicken.
Jamie, do you have a guess?
I said New Jersey.
You said Jersey.
This one. Okay, this one was free. It was New York City. This one's basically impossible to get because I'm the president of this great United States of America.
Washington, D.C.
I want to say Mount Rushmore, but you said it's impossible to get. So I will go with Nolans.
Okay, Ellis Island, where the Statue of
that was
Liberty
the
is
Ellis
in New York.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes sense. That one I could have actually probably got if I thought about it.
I'm home. Operation White House.
Ellis Island.
Jamie, it's my turn first, okay? I want Ellis Island, thank you. I'm home. I'm going to say Tejas. I'm going to assume that he's from the great state of Texas, this president of the United States. Or the White House. Who knows? There's no way to know.
Yeah. What is it? Is it in DC? District of Columbia is like its own thing, right? So it's not in like Maryland or Virginia.
It's not a state, no. It is it is taxed, but not they don't get to vote. So taxation without representation, what the original 4 founders railed against, is present in the District of Columbia. Same with as like Puerto
all
Rico.
the blood, sweat, and tears
Costa
was
Rica.
for. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
President Wilson's gonna be so disappointed.
Score means 20, so 4 scores 80. What does founders mean for 4 founders?
4.
Oh.
Four,
Okay,
four
okay,
still means
okay.
4.
Okay.
Yeah. Washington, the founding fathers, Washington, Lincoln, Jackson, and the kite guy.
Yeah.
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 Pre-order now for the special 4 Founders edition of the Americas. Let's party.
Where you can get a special skin for George Washington.
I think he was in one of the Tony Hawk games.
I hope so. I can't wait for them to put him in Fortnite, frankly.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we've got a couple more things here on just like guess the location then.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think Good Luck and Godspeed Mr. President takes place?
Vegas
Ireland.
for the luck. That'd be a left fielder.
Yeah, like one mission off out of the country. It's Vegas. You're right. It does take place in Vegas. And then finally, the last one. Where is Believe in Your Own Justice?
Now I'll say Tejas, because they believe in doing things for themselves in Texas,
I'll say Michigan.
like the dog.
Is there a
yeah.
dog in Michigan?
It's a steamy with like
Michigan dog.
spaghetti sauce on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah. Believe in Your Own Justice. Sadly, no steamies. It's in outer space.
Oh, of course.
That's the orbital platform.
Yeah. The states do
and that
own it
is-
ever since they put that flag on the moon.
Yeah,
No-
we gotta go.
no
we gotta
borders
go
on the
take
moon.
it down at some point. Or maybe it'll be like Antarctica, where like no one truly owns it.
We can
I'm
hope.
curious how to eat a chili dog now. Didn't we find a really good website on how to eat a chili dog?
Yeah, there's like a
Oh, I
guy
got
who
it.
teaches hot dog eating at like the University of Michigan or something. I don't know. It's like MIT, and he's like, I'm the hot dog professor, and he teaches
It's
hot
hot.
dogs.
It's the National Hot
I
Dog and
remember
Sausage
this.
Council.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
NHDC. The same people who are mad about the hot dog being thrown at Tiger Woods. There's step 1. They have step 1, 2, 3, and everything. You can go hot-dog.org/culture/.
Yeah. You don't want to bruise the dog before it's ripe. So tossing them around is irresponsible.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You pull the dog off the bundle, and then
Remember,
Yeah,
no utensils and lick those fingers, just like when you listen to us.
Don't put them in the fridge because they'll brown faster as well.
no utensils and lick your fingers when listening to the Lore Boys. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that was Metal Wolf Chaos. A little bit of speculative fiction on our part, or on my part rather. And I have been your host, Peter O. Donahue. You can find me at Lore Boys Podcast on Instagram or at Meltdown Montreal on Saint Denis on October 24th, 2021. If you want to come face to face, we'll be doing a panel there.
Oh,
For that, if you want to buy some merch,
house cleaning
I'm
stuff.
sorry.
One thing before we lose the people who turn off that. Don't turn off the episode yet. Just wait.
Don't turn it off yet. Don't turn off. We're still talking.
Yeah.
Here, bud. Come on.
We're looking to pick up some Ask Me Anything AMA questions for an event that might happen in the future. We're starting to collect them. We're coming up on some landmarks for the podcast, so it'd be cool to have some stuff from you guys. So if you have any questions you want to ask us about the show, about real life, about anything at all, send it to loreboyspodcast@gmail.com or contact@loreboys.com, and just let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, this is quick fire shit too, as well. Like shorter than the email. This is going to be separate from the mailbag, which we're still doing. If you want to send something longer, but yeah, absolutely.
Send them in. You could get your name read on the show and everything, and be a part of the Lore Boys community. So just get in and do it.
Yeah. Plenty of other housekeeping to do as well. We have Pete's Squared Idea panel show, which I think is going to get released online at some point as well for anybody who can't make it to Montreal in the middle of a global pandemic, or the hopefully tail end of a global pandemic. We had another thing that week that I can't remember what it is, and then we're doing an Extra Life charity stream, which we've done 2 other times, I think. Maybe 3? 2. I think just 2.
Yes, Extra Life in November. We have been endorsed basically by Deck 13. I'm going to be streaming. My section of the stream is going to be the Surge 2. I'm going for as many achievements as possible in one run. And the guys over at Deck 13 were nice enough to endorse that, so they'll be helping us out with that part of the stream, or maybe the entire thing. That's not final, but Deck 13 and us are going to be doing a stream for Extra Life regardless.
We're doing a 12-hour chili dog mukbang too, so that's pretty cool.
Exactly. No forks and knives here, baby. Only fingers.
My keyboard's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, we're planning some stuff. So if there's anything that you would like to see in a streamathon kind of event, do let us know. We're planning potentially some tabletop RPG action, like Peter said, maybe some giveaways, things like that. We're still trying to figure out what makes the most sense, and it's for charity. So it's good in that regard, I suppose. The charity is, of course, to elect a president of the United States who likes to party for once. We've had some people who are close, but not quite there. So, make sure to tune in on November something. What's the date, Peter? 13th?
No.
14th?
I haven't looked at it.
I can look it up while you guys say other things.
It's in November, okay? It's way far away at this point, unless you're listening to this episode in November, at which point it's...
You will know it is going to be November 2021 at the very least, and we will be very adamant about announcing that properly when we have solid
November
dates.
6th.
There you go.
First Saturday of November. That's when we're planning it. If any of you guys hate giving your money to sick children, we do have a Patreon, so you can give it to some sick in the head adults instead. Patreon.com/theloreboys. Head on over there. We appreciate all the support that you guys give to the show. Make it happen. Make it possible. And yeah, we love interacting with you guys on the Discord, so make sure to join that as well. And of course, we do have Lore Boys Premium, where we are, I don't want to say grooming, but we are kind of training the next president of the United States. So we need some age 21, not 18, because drinking age is 18 over here, but it's 21 in these great United States of America. So we need a 21-year-old we can train in the ways of party, so he can become the president of the United States in 60 years when he's an 81-year-old man, because apparently the United States only votes geriatrics to rule their country. So if you or someone you know is a 21-year-old who wants to learn the way of the party with the Lore Boys, then feel free to submit your video submissions to us. We are
getting a job.
A few key things.
Getting a job's crazy nowadays. You get out of school and they ask for 10 years of experience. Now to be a president, you have to have 150 years of experience, and they just settle for 80.
Exactly. Yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
It's 150 years of experience. They settle for 80 with a pay cut, but Lore Boys party experience counts for double because of the conversion rate, because we are Canadian. The Canadian party currency goes for double. In the States, actually, it's kind of backwards to the monetary currency. So we'll get you there twice as fast. Make sure to send your submissions. A couple prerequisites: you don't get disoriented when you're upside down. That's for the keg stands, obviously.
Yep.
Cool. Strong stomach, those kind of things. Make sure to send it our way, and we'll take you for consideration. We might do like a frat, I think, and that way we kind of hedge our bets. And I think a disproportionate number of U.S. presidents, and this is completely off the dome, I'm going to bet a lot of them were in frats as well. So that's just one more thing on your resume, right?
I'd like to like market it as though it's like, listen, like with the exchange rate, if you take the Lore Boys, if you get on the Lore Boys program for the Lore Boys campaign, you only need to live long enough to watch one of your grandchildren die, and not both of them.
Yeah, exactly. And all we ask in return, of course, is that you legalize the Lore Boys in the United States. You know, I feel so bad for all our listeners with their underground pirate radios having to, stream Lore Boys illegally from their closets and their attics.
We have like 10 downloads from Iran, so come on, guys, get with the program.
People are going across with cassette tapes that are Lore Boys crossed out, written porn on the front. It's like,
commie porn.
Commie juices.
Commie juices. A love story written on it, like hastily scribbled on the tape. What do you got there? Just read propaganda, sir.
So that's why.
And I think that would constitute a Lore Boys.
Lore Boys.
That U.S. Constitution's a Lore Boys out.
A Lore Boys commie juice.